Armadale. This is the spiritual home of the clan Donald, or the MacDonalds. So we're looking forward to visiting the museum, the ruins of the castle and the gardens, and we'll make the most of it while the rain holds off, because it's was a wild and stormy night. So behind me is the Sound of Sleat, which is certainly the sound we've been hearing, the noise we've been hearing, but the Sound of Sleat is the name of the body of water between Skye and the mainland, and we've come along the Sleat Peninsula. Short drive, about 14 miles from Broadford. So it's getting towards the most southerly part of Skye. The weather forecast for today is appalling, so we'll make the most of the breaks in the weather when we've got them. There's a bit of a map here of Sleat, this peninsula. So yeah, we've headed down the A851, which was pretty good. It was excellent road in places, and you get these long stretches where it's absolutely superb, and large signs explaining that it's been all upgraded with courtesy of the European Union. And then you then leave that and you get another stretch of 2 or 3 miles where it's all rutted and potholed. So it's a real mixture of a road, and you just have to get used to it. You get these beautiful, lovely, smooth sections, very wide, smooth sections, and then these narrow, badly potholed sections. So I'm doing my best to avoid the potholes and so on. So this is the most southerly point of Skye. Just through the trees is there's a Calmac ferry. That's the ferry that takes you from Armadale to Mallaig, back on the mainland.
Its own little microclimate.
Back at 11:15. Just gazing up at the silver fir trees, which are absolutely enormous. So we've got a few options, but I'm sure we'll take all of them. We can go and see the ruins of the castle, and then further on is the Museum of the Isles, and we'll just see what else we find. You want to go down there to the Otter View? Well, you never know, do you? And there's an image there of a golden eagle. Whether we'll see one or not remains to be seen. Yeah, we regret that the castle ruins are currently unsafe. I should think currently unsafe, maybe permanently unsafe. So whether it was destroyed by fire, it looks blackened, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Trees growing up inside it now, so nature returning. There's hardly anybody about. You were just commenting that although there are quite a few people parking up in the car park and getting themselves organised, we've hardly seen anybody in the grounds, have we? Yes, there's barely one or two people in the last half an hour. I should think we've been walking. We haven't seen anybody at all.
No.
They've
It's an incredible tree.
this tree here is magnificent, isn't it?
Yeah.
You suddenly realise it's only if you really look up you suddenly realise how huge the tree is. absolutely ginormous. Can't get it all into shot. It's well, just about way too high, and it's fantastic shapes, isn't it? That it's created over probably several hundred years. We can hear a few birds, can't we? The MacDonald clan chiefs then, they occupied castles from right across Skye. This was very much their stronghold, and had lots of castles and farms and so on across the whole of the island. And in 1690 a house here was attacked by warships and burnt to the ground, and that was in retaliation for MacDonald's support of the Jacobite cause. So the supporters of the deposed Stuart claimants to the throne. And Flora MacDonald was later married here in 1750. So Flora MacDonald, one of the great heroes or heroines of the Jacobite cause, famously helped Bonnie Prince Charlie escape after his near successful attempt to reclaim the throne, I think, for his father. And the current building then is again, it's not as old as it's made to look. It's was actually started in the 1790s, and then with slightly later additions, and designed to take advantage of the fantastic view across the Sound of Sleat. And then in 1855 a fire destroyed the central part of the mansion house, and the trust that looks after the estate hopes to do some restoration work to allow safe access in the future. So there's a photograph there. This is a 1900 photograph. I think the newer edition, the white wing or the west wing, remains, that which is at the end there. But most of it's in ruins now. But I can understand the location. It's a lovely location in this sort of hollow with the woodland behind. Yeah, and a good view across the Sound of Sleat. There's the Carmack ferry just coming in from the lake. So we think after the fire in the 19th century, there was clearly must have been a period of restoration, and there's some images here taken from there's Lord MacDonald's coming of age party in 1930. So part of the building must still have been, they're still able to use it, and it says the castle's glory days were short-lived. By the 1930s, the castle had become too large for the family and were used only for parties and family gatherings. They moved to a more comfortable house a few miles away, leaving a housekeeper, inevitably called Bella MacDonald, in residence, and for almost 20 years she lit fires, aired pillowcases, swept rooms and dusted the library books. But after her retirement, the castle fell into disrepair and the contents were sold in 1968. And then the trust was established to protect the site, and also to promote the clan MacDonald's own heritage and culture. So in its prime, it must have been a wonderful place for these very popular gatherings and feasts and dancing and celebrations. So the original or later grand entrance, and the remains of the grand staircase. the monkey puzzle tree. Very, very grand tree. Seldom seen one this tall. So it's not native to the UK, but came over when somebody was given a gift from, I think in Chile in South America. A naval captain was given a gift of some seeds and chose to bring them over and germinate them. And the tree thrives in the UK, or can do, although it's somewhat endangered in Chile. But this is very, very tall. Looking across the Sound of Sleat towards Mallaig, that's just across the Sound. It's about four or 5 miles across to Mallaig. I think the ferry's gone. And on a clear day, you can see the mountains, or the more distant mountains opposite. Some of those are Munros, so they're over, you say they're over 3,000
Yes,
feet to
yeah.
be a Munro, Pamela?
Yeah.
3,000 feet. And it says on a really clear day, which is not going to be true today, you can see Ben More, which is well over 3,000 feet, but that's 44 miles away on the Isle of Mull. And that's somewhere over in that direction, roughly, but I think it's too cloudy today. Mountains opposite are just about appearing through the mist and the cloud. So we're looking across to Knoydart and Glenelg, and there's a series of Munros and Corbetts opposite. But again, very, very peaceful today. As far as we can see, though, there's no bird life down on the shore. Perhaps the conditions are not quite right today. You're promised, or there's a possibility of oyster catchers, heron, and possibly grey and harbour seals, and otters who like to fish in this particular area, but perhaps the conditions aren't quite right today. there's still quite a nice amount of colour. These are unusual. Very spiky, thistle-y like plant, but very attractive. So the variegated foliage down there then produce these must have been big flower spikes which are turned into seed heads. Impressive. I like those. They're like a sort of a pimped up thistle, aren't they? They're jazzed up
indeed.
thistle, yeah. Possibly a type of bamboo or grass of some sort. We're in this sort of hollow, aren't we? So I should think it stays relatively mild all year round, and it's protected by this wall as well. So I should think the more tender plants thrive. Well, they obviously thrive wonderfully here.